When I look at your face down there in another place without me, or in ecstasy, and I'm left wondering.
And welcome back, queer witches, psychic unicorns, and dice dragons, to another episode of ESP Enchanting Sorcery Productions presents. This is a special coverage episode. I am Essie, or Aaron Spencer, your host S for the evening, with sometimes the mostest. She, they, joined with Ange from Anime Zing Radio. Of course, you can also see her on Stormwatch and on her own podcast, talking anime all the time, every week, I believe. Weekly podcast.
Every Sunday, where we talk about anime, convention culture, and gaming, and anything that could even be remotely related to anime.
So since we're leaning a lot more into the podcast format on our channel lately, tell us a little bit more, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, about your work with Anime Zing Radio, other than the quick elevator speech. What have you been doing lately over the past couple of months? Any exciting episodes that you recently put out that you want to point people to?
You can check out, if you,
It's Monday, and it's been a long weekend for everybody.
And digging out my car was a chore.
Yes.
But no, Anime Zing Radio, there's episode, if you can't watch us live due to time zones and all that fun stuff, the videos are on YouTube, and audio versions are available on Spotify. Spotify has a bit of a delay because that is not live. But yeah, no, last night we had some guests from Anki Expo, a VTubing convention happening later this year, and we got into some serious debates about some anime hot takes.
Anki Expo. Okay. I have not heard of that one before. Tell me about Anki Expo.
It is a brand new first-year event happening right before Thanksgiving, November 20-something. You'd think I'd remember this, considering I did this last night. But right before Thanksgiving, it's basically a VTuber convention. So if you know VTubers, you follow VTubers. It's going to be in New England. It's going to be all sorts of VTubers from like the Northeast, and some will be in person, some will not, and lots of fun stuff planned there.
Awesome. Any exciting things on the calendar as well for any upcoming guests or events to look forward to from your channel?
That was the big one.
All right, so check that one out.
Not much else that I actually know about, but if Doug has planned guests, he hasn't told us.
You do have some pretty cool guests that show up from pretty regularly on your show as well, which is nice. Yeah. Who are some of the guests that you've had on your show that you're most excited about having had on the show?
Honestly, we've had some pretty amazing voice actor guests. Although the biggest guest we had, which was honestly just extremely surreal, was Ladybeard.
Right. Yes. I remember you established a good relationship and rapport with them during Anime Boston 2024, I believe. 2024.
3 or 4.
I think it was 4. It does start to blend together, doesn't it?
It really does, because my husband and I, when we were on our vacation to Japan, late 2024, we actually got to meet up with Ladybeard in person. And so that was another just kind of surreal moment.
Yeah. By the way, I think the counter on the Anime Boston website is down. It's not. It just says 0000. I'm not sure if you're showing the same thing, but it's exciting to have the counter up. So
no,
it's
actually,
a nice visual aid.
Mine just refreshed to 65 days, 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 55 seconds.
What is it about? Wow, I guess it's just my computer then.
No, mine was saying 000, and then it just refreshed.
Okay. That's something to look forward to, I guess. I guess. So, tell us about, let's go back to Anime Boston 2025 last year. Also kind of a whirlwind, kind of a blur. A lot has happened. It felt like we've lived 10 years over the past year.
I was not at Anime Boston
That's right.
2025.
That's right.
It happened to be one of the very few years it's not Easter. So
Yep.
I was at Animazement down in North Carolina instead.
I think that's why everybody was a little thrown off. It was a good time, of course, as always, but I want to focus more on 2026. Of course, we said we're going to be doing the same thing for PAX East. Now that we're sort of catching up with everything, this should be more of a hype show. I think that's most appropriate, especially because you weren't even there. So we can focus on 2026, which is exciting. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start at activities, panels, news?
I suppose if we're starting the hype train, the thing I am most excited for is the guest of honor Yoko Kanno.
Yes.
I will 100% be at that concert, guaranteed, regardless.
Yes. As a message, a positive message, of course, to the amazing folks over at Anime Boston and the folks in press. We talked about a lot of this on our previous episodes, our last couple of years. We talked a lot about the new sort of system of handling media, press, etc. And this, for us in ESP, and I think a lot of folks share the sentiment too, as exciting as musical guests are, for us over at ESP, someone like Yoko Kanno is a perfect crossover guest, because a lot of times when you have channels or networks that are focused on something, maybe like a niche theme, or on tabletop gaming or video gaming, a lot of the musical guests who are more independent musical artists, there might not be a lot of crossover. But for our community, a guest like Yoko Kanno, who has been in so many amazing, let's just pull up the details right now. Let's see if it comes up as discography. Let's just bring up the whole thing so everybody can follow along. No, not Discord, discography. Yoko Kanno discography. So, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, everything that you recognize, right? And as awesome as the individual musical guests are, I loved Miyavi. That was one of the best. By the way, Anime Boston, attention all of you guys, right? This is for y'all. That show, Miyavi, was one of the coolest things that your team has ever put on together. The entire team at Anime Boston. That was one of the greatest concerts, one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to. I loved Miyavi. It stood out to me so much. It was an absolute delight. How about you? Did you go to the Miyavi concert a few years back?
I don't think I did that one. Over the years, one of the big memories was actually a concert I didn't attend, but one of my best friends did, was Lisa.
Yeah, I did see Lisa too. That was also another good one, by the way. Lisa was great. Miyavi was great. Yeah, but again, that we talk about sort of crossover. There wasn't a lot of overlap in our community, so it was more of a thing for us of when I posted about that, it was kind of, oh, cool, musical guests. But going back to the crossover with a lot of communities, a lot of anime communities, this has that crossover potential. I know we all love the musical guests and the concerts, again, that aren't connected to anime or gaming in any way, as fun as they are. But again, for the community aspect, especially if you're talking about, for us, an example on like sort of a micro-influencer level, our community is a little bit more focused. And it's kind of like that's cool. But the community is more focused on, it's more recognizable to see someone like Yoko Kanno. The community can engage with the micro-influencers in a way that I think is what people are aiming for. So this is something that our community can probably, and your community too as well, get really, really, really excited about, because everybody knows Cowboy Bebop's Ghost in the Shell. Wolf's Rain is something I've heard a lot about growing up. Everybody seemed to like that, but I've never seen it myself. Macross, I remember a lot of, in the early years of Anime Boston, 2005, 2006. 2006 was the first year that I went. Spotify is having a hard time today. Macross was something that was very popular. Have you seen Macross? Because I haven't, but all of my friends watched it.
I watched a couple episodes back in the day, and then funny you bring that up. One of the things we did recently over at AnimeZingRadio was everybody picked one show where everyone had to watch episode 1, and somebody else's pick was Macross
okay.
Delta.
Okay.
And so watching that a few weeks ago, it was the idol style one. It was mecha, it was idols, the music was amazing. And so yeah, I kind of know Macross, but
not as well as
not as well as other shows.
Yeah. So we'll have to do a watch party or something.
Cowboy Bebop is one of those anime that I feel like everyone has seen, or if you haven't, you should.
Yep.
Because it is one of the classics.
Tokyo Sora is another one that I hear a lot about, and I've heard a lot of discussion about, seen a lot of cosplayers for. Recall a lot of people chatting about that. Those three in particular, Tokyo Sora, Wolf's Rain, and Macross, especially in the early days of AB, when, again, 06, 07, 08, that was still, those were late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of cosplayers, a lot of crossover there. And Gundam Original, I see the Gundam Original soundtrack, which is also really cool, 1999. But yeah, these animes, all 5 of these, our community members have at some point talked about in our anime channel. People, again, it's a fandom community. It's a great sort of community for nerddom and fandom and talking about anime and gaming, and people get really excited to see these things. And again, the concerts are amazing. It's just more of a matter of like that sort of focus, that central focus for the micro influences, which is great. It's good to keep that excitement flowing. That's what gets people excited.
Sometimes the musical guests are spot on. Like I think this is one of those times.
Yeah.
Other years where there's other years it just doesn't quite hit the same.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up, see if I can find the 2025 guest listing. Oh yeah, it's in the archive. Okay. Yes. So last year I found it. Go down to the musical guests. Okay. Yeah, Blue Count, Magnificent Danger, and Rial. So last year, though, I did say, and again, I do want to point out, in fairness, that last year, again, as a general audience appeal, which is also part of what is really important for y'all, is general audience appeal, and that is also great. There's a lot of layers happening, which I can see from sort of a business and logistics standpoint, which makes a lot of sense, and it is very cool, right? Y'all definitely also have the mass appeal cool factor going on, so I definitely love to see that as well, in addition to the more niche anime and video game related stuff. So it's a nice little layer cake that we have. But Blue Count and Rial, I saw both of those concerts, and those were amazing. Those were a lot of fun. You did miss out on that, Ange, but I did have fun for y'all. So covering, I guess, retroactively, if I am going to talk about 2025 real quick, Blue Count and Rial were both amazing concerts. Y'all did an amazing job pulling that off. Absolute props. 11 out of 10 no notes on either of those concerts. A lot of really great cosplay guests as well. And the VO lineup here as well from last year. A lot of really cool folks. But again, let's focus on 2026. This is absolutely, particularly for us, what our community gets really excited about and gets excited about us talking about and covering. And 2025, let's go to the guests. Of course, this is her little blurb here. Composer in the anime and video game industry since her debut in 1985, Kano has been involved in various projects. Her musical compositions can most notably be heard in the Cowboy Bebop original soundtrack and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. I love Getsack. I also cosplay Major from Getsack. That's one of my old school cosplays. Eventually I'll bring it back. But I have to lose a little bit of weight because that leotard is hard to squeeze into, Ange, let me tell you. I've been working really hard on it. I've been hitting the gym all the time, but still, like, you gotta be real tiny to fit into a Major Motoko cosplay. You know, they actually mentioned that on the show in the actual anime with the director, when she comes in and the director says, "What are you wearing?" It's very, but then they go with sort of like the Hideo Kojima in Phantom Pain route of, oh, it's optic camouflage, it's there for function, you know, for essential function. And she kind of owns it though, which is also really cool. I do like the fact that she owns it. She's like, this is what I like to wear, and it's functional. And you know, the director just grumble. But yeah, no, it is. I do have the cosplay. It's just that because she has that sort of that optic camouflage. In reality, for cosplayers, speaking of cosplay, the practical cosplay is sort of like a silver leotard, and you can add sort of PVC foam to that if you want like little details, but you can just do a single one because those little tiny details are kind of easy to just do it. Oh, you're playing the maid. Any cosplays for you this year, Ange?
We discussed a couple of possibilities, but getting things done in time for Anime Boston is unlikely.
Yeah. Well, out of curiosity, what are some of the possibilities that you were talking about?
One of the things I would love, but I don't know if you are familiar with the anime Bow Fury.
Bow Fury? No, but I'm gonna look it up right now. So give me a second.
I have talked about this one
on your show.
Because it's one of the few that all of us have watched and absolutely loved.
Oh, Fury, okay.
Maple's red armor is something that we discussed the possibility of husband 3D printing for me at some point.
This is a long anime title. Bow
Yup.
Fury, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense 2.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's season 2?
Correct.
Okay. That would be really funny though if they just if that was season 1 and it was called 2. I've definitely seen that before, and I do like that humor. But so Maple is, I'm assuming, the guy hanging off the side of the flying turtle here. This seems like a fun anime. This is a comedy?
Ish. It doesn't take itself seriously.
Well, that's good.
It is adorable and fun and very cute.
And then we have the girl here that you were talking about, Maple, with the black and red, who is surrounded by 2 others who have giant hammers, which does look to be funny.
Yep. The girls with the giant hammers are sisters.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so this seems like a fun, silly anime I could watch. I'll have to ask Nelly about it, who is our resident apartment anime watcher. She's the one that gets us to watch most of the anime, most of the new stuff. I'll have to add that to the list, see what she thinks. So yeah, that's Bow Fury.
And then one of the other ones I was contemplating was, because we have 3D printer, was actually more of a Star Wars cosplay, but The Mandalorian and all of that.
Okay, I love The Mandalorian.
Things I really enjoy, and Bo-Katan is just.
You would make a great
badass.
Bo-Katan. I love Bo-Katan.
And we realized that I could do a very casual, get some of the armor, and because she doesn't always wear the helmet, could totally have one and just walk around with it.
Yeah, no, which is great, and it cuts down on the amount of PVC foam that you would have to, or EVA foam that you would have to put together. I've never actually put any foam together, so. Also dyslexia, so PVC and EVA. I think PVC is plastic, plastic piping. EVA foam.
But we have 3D printer that you can't quite see in the back of the room.
Okay, so have you worked with let's talk more about cosplay. Have you worked with EVA foam before? I know that's sort of like the cosplay standard for a lot of folks.
Kind of.
I haven't even touched it once.
I've touched it. More accurately, I have thrown money at friends, and friends have made stuff for me.
Okay, that's fair. That sounds like something I would probably do. I do a lot of closet cosplays.
I do know my way around some basic sewing.
Well, I can't even do that. My grandmother tried to teach me when I was very little, which was very affirming at the time, but I never really stuck. I think probably because of the ADHD. I was just like, I want to go inside.
Irony enough, Girl Scout, I learned the most random skills with Girl Scouts. Basic hand sewing was one of them.
See, though, that was where I missed out because I didn't get a chance to get into the Girl Scouts. It was a different time, you know. But I have told that the Girl Scouts are really progressive, and they have all kinds of girls, including trans girls, which is awesome. If that's correct, that's what I heard, that they accept everybody.
They do accept everybody.
Good for the Girl Scouts. That's awesome. Good for y'all. Buy cookies.
To the best, yes, buy Girl Scout cookies. They're amazing. And to the best of my knowledge, they also do support some very...
Yeah, support trans kids shouldn't be a controversial opinion.
No, it should not. And
That's one of the oldest institutions in this country. Not the oldest. Actually, I'm curious about that now. Hold on, let me check. When was the Girl Scouts? When were the Girl Scouts established?
Early 1900s, if I remember
Wow.
correctly.
1912.
I can tell you it was Juliet Gordon-Low.
Yep. March 12th, 1912. So, Girl Scouts, thank you for being awesome in the face of the insanity that we've been faced with. Thank y'all for being awesome. Go buy cookies. And of course, this is a queer and trans channel, so support trans kids. Yeah, very easy. Very obvious. Very obvious. Very obvious stuff for us. But that's awesome. Yeah, and it was a different time, like I said, so. But
Oh, yeah.
for future generations, you can learn skills like sewing, which can be useful to cosplay. So there you go. So let's talk about the guests real quick for 2026. And I'm probably going to butcher some of these pronunciations. Eryn Dismuke? Dismuke?
You'd think I should remember this. Dismuke?
Dismuke?
I'm not 100% sure either.
Henceforth be referred to as Eryn. So, after 20 years of industry experience, Eryn has decided that this image, I'm sorry, Eryn, that this anime thing might just work out among various roles. I hear that, among various roles. Eryn was 9 when he booked his first role in Fruits Basket. Okay. Fruits Basket is also another hugely popular anime among, again, your channel here, among some of my friends who would become eventually sort of openly queer and or trans, part of our community. Fruits Basket was a big one that was very popular, and a lot of my friends who are now non-binary or transmasc really liked that anime, Fruits Basket, and a lot of other trans women that I know too sort of grew up watching that. It's a very beloved anime that I have never seen. So tell us about Fruits Basket. Are you familiar? Have you seen any of it?
It got a reboot in 2019. The original I watched some of back in the day. Couldn't really tell you much about it other than what I saw I liked. So Ken confirm
Okay.
he is another one of those classics.
Yep. And he was Alphonse and Full Metal Alchemist. It doesn't say Brotherhood, just says Full Metal Alchemist. And we love Alphonse. And a nervous 26 when he voiced Tamaki Amashiki in My Hero Academia. Okay. Which one was that again? Tamaki Amashiki.
My Hero Academia just wrapped.
Yeah. I stopped watching after the concert episode because I heard it got a little bit unhinged after they did like the rock concert.
I will say this is another thing I have gone on at length about. After a certain point, the pacing is just all over the place, and some part like any good shonen, some parts drag. If you were to go back and basically watch any of it, I would start with the villain arc.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's an entire arc where they focus on the villain characters and get into their stories, which that story arc was really well done. And then after that, you get into like the wrap up and the ending, and it ended late last year.
Okay, all right, so officially wrapped. Thank you for the deets, because again, I stopped watching after the concert arc, but I'm assuming the villain arc is after they have the...
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
The villain arc is towards the end.
That was right in the middle of the pandemic, when we were still figuring out how the pandemic was going to work and sort of affect everybody, how it was going to affect voice actors. So in that situation, I think we found, if I recall correctly, there was a lot of differences, and this show in particular was scheduled to record at the height of the pandemic. So I remember there were a lot of the editors, I think, did their best, but you could kind of tell some of the tones and volumes were a little different. Everyone, for the first time ever, had shifted into recording in their home studios.
We actually, from that period, we actually had some voice actor interviews where we talked to them about that.
That's really cool. Okay. Like. Yeah, check out the Anime Zing archives then. That's awesome.
Um, and and some of the voice actors were very forthcoming about what the difference about some of the big differences between going into the studio every day and recording from home and how that worked because some people had the technology and some people did not.
Yeah, it was an interesting time, I think, for a lot of people.
Agreed.
It's like they were also an ADR director. He's worked on Fairy Tail and Solo Leveling as an ADR director. Very cool. All right.
I've heard good things about both and not seen either.
Yep, and Dr. Stone as well. Senku Ishigami in Dr. Stone, which I have heard very good things about from some of my colleagues and coworkers at my other day job before I transferred to the new one. Have you seen Dr. Stone? Because that was a big recommendation from my old boss, actually.
No, that was a big recommendation. Other people have recommended it to me, and I'm like,
Yona Scott. Yona Scott is a voice actor and Twitch streamer from LA. Jonah has provided his leading man voice to many video games and serials such as Dying Light 2, Beastars, Attack on Titan, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and more. Jonah is also a classically trained singer with over 15 years of instruction across all disciplines. Lift your shoulders off, friend. When he's not behind the mic, he's streaming content on Twitch at Alpha Aniki, watching anime, or playing Dungeons & Dragons with friends. Okay, very cool. So let me look up Jonah Scott, Attack on Titan. See who they were there. Oh, Willie Tiber.
okay.
Right here. And this guest listing is a little not as big as it was for 2025, but I also get that, again, we have lived 10 years over the course of 1 year. It's been rough for a lot of folks, and, you know, it's the old millennial adage of preferring not to live through, you know, world-shattering events for the 11th time since 9/11, you know?
Yeah, no, been there.
It's hard to pretend that things are normal. They're really not.
Normal? What's that?
Yeah. And we can see it in things like this. It's you know, there's a lot of crossover, and we try to stay normal and try to have a sense of normalcy and do. I have a friend in Ukraine who's amazing. Just a shout out to Loots and Dice, to our friend of the channel, Full Card. Full Card, I hope you're doing well out there. Shout out to you in Ukraine, Slava Ukraine. And Full Card was telling me just about trying to have a sense of normalcy and sort of going to a big surge in Magic the Gathering over the past several years in Ukraine. A big surge of tabletop games, Warhammer, to just it's a welcome distraction for everyone in the Ukraine, and a lot more folks getting into tabletop games in the midst of a war that, you know, Russia started and agitated.
Yep.
But
and other current events haven't helped, I'm sure.
yes, no, most certainly. But yeah, no, that's exactly what they tell me all the time, is that sense of normalcy, which is a good reminder to reach back out to them, because it has been a minute. But hoping they're doing okay. Need to reach back out to Full Card. Go check out Loots and Dice. Their channel is still up. The Discord is active. So if you're interested in supporting Ukraine adjacent or Ukrainian creators, definitely check that out as well. Loots and Dice tabletop channel. Last on the guest list is Sarah Weidenheft. I think I said that one correctly. Danish Weidenheft, I believe. Correct. Danish-American voice actor and singer. With her passion for acting and singing, she decided to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. She's lent her voice to numerous anime dubs, original animations, and video games. Some of her most notable roles include Power and Chainsaw Man. I knew we were going to talk about Chainsaw Man at some point. Oh, that's incredible. Okay, Power and Chainsaw Man, thank you. This would be awesome. Shout out to you, Sarah. It's a great anime. Great voice, great character. Power and Chainsaw Man, Ren Zeno and Dragon Ball Super, and Juan and Honkai Star Rail, Pony in My Hero Academia, and Casti and Octopath Traveler. Oh, Octopath Traveler. I know that's very beloved. I haven't played it yet. But let's see. Pony in My Hero Academia. Uni Tsunotori. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, adorable. All right. So that's it for the guest list so far. But yeah, I think for her panels, I think a lot of people are probably going to flock over because Chainsaw Man is hot. Chainsaw Man's hot right now.
Yeah, no, Chainsaw Man. I love to see. Chainsaw Man seems to be a fairly divisive right now because from what I've heard, the manga, people who have read the manga don't like where the manga's at.
Okay. So maybe hoping the anime might do something different.
I've purposely avoided getting things spoiled because if I'm watching the anime, I don't want to read the manga.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same way. My partner is just the opposite. She likes reading the manga first, right? So she's like, you know, a real one when it comes to anime fandom.
Like if
some might say.
If there's a manga that I'm reading that's getting an anime later this year that I'm super excited about. But if I'm watching the anime and I know it's based on a manga, I don't want to read the manga until I'm finished with the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And I know to some that makes zero sense, but
so going back to that's it for the guests. And again, telling of the times, but we do our best to remain normal. And I know more guests are always added, but at this time last year there was a lot more. But again, way understandable considering everything. But let's go ahead. Sorry.
And I was going to say, and given the state of the world, I'm fairly certain we're not going to see the amount of international guests that we've seen in years past.
Yeah. Yep. 1000%. Because they don't
speculation
want to be
but
detained. It's a reasonable assessment.
But I have a lot of Canadian and European friends who have publicly posted on social media that, like, my Canadian friends from Ontario and Quebec used to come to the States fairly regularly for just visiting friends. And past year and a half, 2 years, they've publicly posted on socials that no, they're not until things change.
Yep. And I agree, 1000%. I agree with any VOs, you know, taking a stance on that. And also shout out to the VOs who are going to Anime Boston this year to try and, you know, regain a sense of normalcy and do things, especially Power from Chainsaw Man. That's a big name VO for essentially one of the hottest shows in anime period right now. We'll see what happens with season 2. Have you seen the film, the Chainsaw Man film yet? It's next on my list.
I have not. I wanted to, and
hard to find time.
Missed it when it was in theaters, and now it's is it streaming somewhere?
Probably Crunchyroll.
And if it is on Crunchyroll, then yeah, it's just a matter of me and husband finding the time to watch it.
Looks like it's there. Oh, it's got some good reviews. 96% Rotten Tomatoes. So that's big. Let's see. Yep. 98% popcorn meter. 96% tomato meter. Wow. There's Sinners right there.
Yeah, no, anime movies are actually just these days. They've been big. They've been record breaking.
And I would be remiss if we didn't talk about We Touch Grass. Because I went last year with Zeldin. Shout out to Zeldin. I'm sorry that I missed your message from this weekend. We will hang out soon. I promise. We will do something else this coming week or the week after. It was weird timing with the snowstorm, and we weren't sure when it was going to hit, and everything else that happened, you know, Saturday morning. So kind of a rough weekend for everybody. It was kind of a little dissociated, as I think most people were. But one thing we can do to try and regain a sense of normalcy to the best of our ability, while still making our voices heard nationally, is we can dance. We can go out there and we can dance and we can have a good time with each other. And you can go to the We Touch Grass Anime Rave, which is now officially sponsored with Anime Boston, or partnered, I should say, because they're on the actual AB page. It is indeed the official rave of Anime Boston. I know there was kind of a thing. Oh, is it really the official rave? Here you go. It's right here. Rave. We Touch Grass. Right here on the page. Which, have you ever been to one, Ange?
Rave has never really been my thing.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
Oh,
I used to go to the old raves.
My husband has a lot of stories about the raves back in the day. That's just never really been my scene. That said, if that even sounds remotely like something that you enjoy, go do it.
I'll have to.
Life is too short to not enjoy.
Exactly. I'll have to talk to your husband about some of the old stories, because we might have been to the same thing. But hey, Frozen Night. I've been at raves in 20 plus years. Yeah, I miss it. I miss it. And going back to the rave last year was an incredible experience for me. It was great. Go ahead, Ange. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I know that my husband and your partner were good friends back in the day.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll have to talk more. I must have been completely distracted when you all had this conversation, but we'll have to talk more about that again. That's wild. That's really cool.
But apparently, husband mentioned when I forget, we all ran into each other at some, I don't remember.
Probably in the hallway, yeah.
In the hallway at a convention, and you and yours were on your way somewhere, and we were going in the opposite direction, and they hadn't seen each other in years, and it was the whole, oh my god, I haven't seen you in forever. And then as we were going on, husband explained that they used to hang out at conventions back in the day, like before I met my husband.
You know, it's a smaller world than we think, especially in the Boston area. Everybody knows everybody else, and if you're a content creator in Boston, at some point you're probably going to bump into somebody else, that you know, and hang out, like in the case of Zeldin, and with you and your husband. So which is great. By the way, Burlesque Show is back. Scarlet Mafia, that was good, and the drag show. I got to see if I can find the drag show. I just saw it. I think it's under the gaming, guest late night programming.
I thought I saw that somewhere on the website. Oh no, the drag show applications are open.
Oh, I see. So yeah, the drag show was incredible. I also recommend the Anime Boston drag show. It was great. It was a great time. It is very much for a queer audience. It was great. It was catered to us. I very much enjoyed that show. Amazing. Definitely recommend it. And I want to thank Anime Boston for bringing more queer culture to the scene. That's part of we talk about, if you want to talk about micro influencers, that's kind of our whole channel and our whole message is sort of queer positivity, a space for queer folks to come together.
No, it really is nice to see the anime conventions doing this. I will say, being involved with PAX, PAX has been doing that for a very long time now.
Yep.
I don't know if you've gotten to see any of the these days it is referred to as PAX Together intersection. Games designed by queer and trans folks, and they promote all of the queer and trans groups and I know one year they had a trans life. They had like a group that was Trans Lifeline, and just like specific game demos made by queer creators, and it's run by and the room is staffed by some really awesome people.
I've definitely been in there a few times, and it's a great room, and it's a great thing that PAX and Anime Boston has been doing. So hats off to, if y'all have a moment to shamelessly pat yourself on the back, I think that would be a good thing. That's a positive thing for everybody. More, despite what the current administration is trying to tell you, more diversity,
Just
more culture. It's important. It's a
anime
good thing.
and games should be for everybody who is interested.
Yep.
Regardless of all the things.
Yeah. Yep. 1000% agree. 1000% agree. That's a great segue to start winding things down. A 45-minute episode, which is good because I don't think we have too much to talk about, but we do have final thoughts, and I'm going to pass it back to you, of course. But late night activities again, cosplay shenanigans, burlesque show, hentai extravaganza, the dating game, the big fat quiz show, and the raves and the rave, probably things I'm going to check out. The late night stuff is great. It's a great late night scene at Anime Boston. So I think, and of course we have the swap meet, speed friending, slumber party, the sketchbook swap, the latest swap meet, the maid cafe, of course, 21 plus lounge. I believe that's at King's, and the formal ball. Come join us for AB Snuggly Slumber Party. Come to chill, chat, play games with some anime, paint your nails. Oh, cool! Color and more. Bring your friends or come alone. There's plenty to do. Come in your normal clothes, your PJs, or a slumber party. Cosplay. Interesting. All ages welcome. Operated by Anime Boston staff. That should be fun. That sounds like a good time.
Honestly, that sounds like something I would go to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very chill. So
Like,
that is Ange approved speed.
That is a late night. I'm after a certain point. I've noticed that as I've gotten older at conventions, like late at night, I tend to be far more lazy and chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I need to remember to check that out. Also, I will probably be roaming around. Definitely going to check out the Artist Alley and the Dealer's Room because I know people that will be in both.
The Dealer's Room is one of the best parts of Anime Boston.
Typically is. And then I might also be just kind of wandering around trying to find cosplayers. And if you are a cosplayer and you want to do like a 30-second interview, come find me.
Yeah, I think you probably come find either of us.
Yeah, because I'll be doing AZR content.
Mm-hmm. Same with ESP. We'll probably bump into each other. Mutual aid if needed, right? Mutual referrals. So we'll see whoever we can get over to the other's content. If you see me and you're looking for Ange, I'll see if I can find Ange, and likewise, the other way. But I remember the other thing I was going to say with integrating more queer positivity here was Greg Ayres. Greg Ayres has been partnered and advocating for the It Gets Better project for a long time. And that was one of the topics of conversation that I had at the end of Anime Boston on a Sunday after it was 2018. So I had sort of walked over and just said, oh, hey, I want to thank you for your work with the It Gets Better project, because when I was a different person before 2018, I had gone to that, and it had sort of been in the back of my mind the whole time and inspired me to take the leap, to take the next step. The fact that that project existed and I think had a satellite office in Boston, just that knowledge really, and that panel that he did really helped sort of put me into a better mindset. And I think that was, you gotta tell, that was a meaningful emotional moment for both of us in that moment, which was nice. And also Greg Ayres is very accessible if you have a nice story like that and it's perhaps Sunday and you happen to bump into him. That was good timing for everybody.
I remember doing a press interview with him. I do not remember if it was 2023 or 2024, but he was just hilarious.
Yep, and then of course the Greg Ayres show, the official show, which was at Anime Boston Live, which is also a great shout out to, if we want to call back to 2025, of course, to a little bit of retro coverage there. Amazing. Always have Greg Ayres do his spoken word. The spoken word is, never underestimate the power of a spoken word show, which is, I believe, what that is. Henry Rollins, I've been a fan of Henry Rollins for the longest time, for years. I've seen him at least twice, 3 times, or like a short one. But I've seen Henry Rollins live at least twice for his spoken word, and that's sort of exactly what Greg does. Because if it's not stand-up and it's not specifically poetry, it falls under the category. We're talking sort of media entertainment as broad categories, right? It falls under the category of spoken word, and spoken word shows are awesome. Just listening to people tell stories. Both great people, by the way. If you get a chance to see either of them, both Henry Rollins or Greg Ayres, definitely go do that.
Yeah. I am unfamiliar with Henry Rollins, but Greg Ayres was definitely a genuinely awesome person.
Yeah.
And cannot recommend him enough as well.
Henry Rollins is essentially Victor, the Ripper Doc in the cyberpunk movie Johnny Mnemonic, and also the singer of Black Flag. That was his claim to fame. He was the singer of Black Flag.
Okay.
And he's also one of the main guests in the American Hardcore documentary, if you've seen or interested in hardcore music. So
interesting. No, I'm
Yeah.
definitely a metalhead, so
Yeah. It's funny. That's like the other crossover from my personal life that every once in a while seeps in and people go, oh, is a hardcore music scene. And that's Henry Rollins was a big part of that. And he does a spoken word show. And I went with, God, if we're doing some more of these local shout outs to my friend Brendan Long. He was he was one of the original folks and sort of Bristol County Hardcore Collective. So, and I think he does a lot with automotive stuff now. But yeah, he took me both times, I believe, to see Henry Rollins spoken word. That was pretty cool.
God.
All the subtle shout outs. Everybody gets a shout out today.
Yeah, no, everybody gets the shout outs. No, I don't. I'm also curious. I also don't know if they're doing the tabletop room at Anime Boston again. I know
saw
they did
that.
it in 2024.
Tabletop gaming information for Anime Boston 2026 will be available in the upcoming months. Please check back later for updates. But it is there. It is listed on the website.
And so yeah, more crossover, more. These days, all of the hobbies are seemingly less and less niche, and there's a lot more crossover.
Oh yeah, yep.
But I feel like a lot of that is just because the internet.
Childish Gambino had an album about that called "Because the Internet." I have it. I actually, we talk about this in some of our other podcast shows. Have you ever seen Atlanta?
Atlanta?
Yeah, the show Atlanta. It's on FX, right? It was on FX, and it's on Hulu Plus right now. It's a show sort of created by Donald Glover and his team, sort of what evolved from Derek Comedy and became his newer comedy team. And it's an incredible show about a hip-hop artist in Atlanta called Paperboy. And Donald Glover plays Earl, who is essentially his manager. And Zazie Beetz is in it as well. Lakeith Stanfield is also in it. All these amazing talents the actor who played Paperboy is the same actor who played Fastus and Marvel and the MCU's The Eternals.
Oh.
Yeah. He was the hip hop artist. Brian Tyree Henry, that's his name.
The Eternals was one of those underrated ones.
Yeah, I agree. We were just talking about that in our server. Underrated, one of my personal favorites.
That was... The MCU has gotten so big that some of the what I'm going to label as B-sides, even though they may or may not be, don't get as much love as they probably should, and some of them are arguably better.
Yeah, it was one of those movies where there was a lot of arguments about that, especially in more progressive spaces online. A lot of, I think, confusion about that. So I took it at face value. And one thing that I want to say, this is something I feel very strongly about, is I listened to the actors, because there were a lot of actors of color in that movie who were very proud of this movie. One in particular is Kumail Nanjiani, right, who recently released a stand-up special, and he said he gets emotional on stage. He gets emotional. He said, I thought we were doing a good thing. Like, I genuinely thought we were doing a good, positive thing, and it just turned into a nightmare. And he was almost in tears, and I'm like, why do we do this to people? Like, this is someone who clearly had good intentions, who thought, and he even said, sort of half speaking for the entire cast, that everybody was on the same page. We thought we were doing something meaningful and positive and impactful, and then it just became a shit show online.
The young actress, who plays Kamala Khan, at one point when they were during the Ms. Marvel.
Oh yeah, I loved Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was great.
Yeah, but there was a lot of backlash online and people calling her out, and she's like, That's not my job. My job is to play the character. My job is to embody this character. I'm not paid to talk about insert the arguments here.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I will say about sort of the current thing is that I did not like Kenobi. I thought it was bad, but also it doesn't give people a reason or an excuse to attack actors of color, especially the lead, the co-lead in Kenobi. Like, that was out of control. Like, just because you don't like something doesn't mean you have to personally attack someone. I can say I hated Kenobi without, you know what I mean, trashing the actors for insane reasons. She did her best, by the way. She definitely did her best in a situation where I think it was just bad script writing, but you can tell she was really trying hard, and that was awesome. And her character was my favorite. So
I don't remember Kenobi. I'm sure I watched it. Definitely did not leave a lasting impression.
Yes. Moses Ingram. That's her name.
Andor and The Mandalorian are the ones that I really liked.
Yeah. I loved her performance. I thought it was great. I just think that the script for Kenobi show fell very short, but...
and you know what? And this kind of gets into something we touched on last night on air.
Yeah.
Is the fact that with streaming, there's just so much content available at the press of a button that not everybody's gonna like everything, and
that's fine. It's totally fine. Doesn't mean you have to personally attack the actors. You know what I mean? And the racism was crazy that came out after that. Like,
and that's just shitty.
Yeah.
Like, something. Not everybody's gonna like everything that comes out. Period.
And again, that's fine. It's fine. You don't have to like everything.
If you're gonna say something is shit, at least offer some constructive criticism, like you
script
say,
writing.
For Kenobi, you thought the script writing was bad. That's some level of constructive.
Cinematography, the art direction, the directing, the on-site direction was also pretty awful.
There are some shows that I've seen where I'll watch episode 1 and the characters are so flat that I feel like they have no redeeming qualities, and therefore it's like, nope, I'm done with the show.
Okay, now here's my classic about to stand on my chair. You know what Star Wars property was really good though that I like, and we're getting a little off topic from anime, but The Acolyte was so underrated. It's got actors from it's got the oh my god, I gotta get his name, from Squid Game, and also your boy Manny. The Acolyte was underrated, I think, by a lot. Amanda Stenberg, of course, was good, but Manny Jacinto, I think, stole the show. So my boy Manny Jacinto.
Now bringing this back.
Lee Jung
to
Jae,
anime.
by the way. Lee Jung Jae. Yes, sorry. Circling back to anime.
Did you see Star Wars Visions?
Yes, Star Wars Visions was great. Lightsabers, red.
I loved watching different studios' takes, just what they did with Star Wars.
Yep.
And like for example, within 5 seconds, you could tell Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger name studios, you could tell instantly what studio it was, but seeing just the different studios, just carte blanche, this is a Star Wars story. That was really, really, really well done.
There's the poster right there. Yeah, for Visions and for Trigger.
And some of these stories were done better than others, but overall, I loved the concept.
Let's see.
and that's another Star Wars property that I felt was very underrated.
The samurai one was, I think that was the Duel. I think that was season 1, episode 1.
Might have been.
Let's see. Yep, the Duel. The Duel was my absolute favorite. And again, we talk about this a lot on, and this is sort of, we circle back to some crossover here. My major, my bachelor's is in history, Asian studies, and I focused more, my personal concentration in that was Japan, medieval and modern Japan. And I've been to the country. I went for 2 weeks with our exchange program at Bridgewater State University. And I have a deep appreciation for seeing this as a gaijin, seeing this on the screen. Speaking of gaijin, sidebar story, our TA, our travel assistant, he said there's one point where you can get official honorary gaijin or you're just sort of passing through. And one of them was, we were running to catch a train, and I screamed at him from down the street, I'm gonna fucking die! My lungs are gonna explode! And he's panting and he goes, you're in it now! You're in it! You've moved beyond honorary gaijin. You've ran for a train and shouted, I'm gonna die. Like, now you've experienced Japan in its fullest.
Japan, I consider myself lucky that I've actually gotten to be in Japan twice now.
Twice, good for you. Take me with you when you go the third time.
The third trip will be at, I think third trip is the north.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
The first trip was
Sapporo?
Mostly, that's next.
Nice.
The first trip was mostly Tokyo. 2024 was trip number 2, and that was a little bit of Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. I will say the city of Osaka.
Oh, that was my favorite. I loved seeing the Ferris wheel on the canal, and Gakuto's up on the screen. It was great. Selling acai super dry.
So much Pride merch. There was so much Pride banners and things in the city of Osaka.
That's awesome. Hokkaido as well.
Hokkaido is
well, that's a prefecture. So is Sapporo in Hokkaido?
Hokkaido's up north. Sapporo, Hokkaido, that's all North Japan.
Yep.
But no, I think for me, with a English literature major in undergrad and a history minor, I tend to have any media I consume tends to go through that lens of
same,
over analyzing literally everything, and even if I can't stand something, I can at least look at it from an objective standpoint and be like, okay, this is why I didn't like it.
Yeah, Blue-Eyed Samurai was great too, by the way.
That's another one I have been meaning to watch.
Very good.
But there's just so much anime available out there right now that it's like trying to keep up and trying to find time to watch it all.
Blue-Eyed Samurai is definitely, I think, that has a lot of conversation and debate around it, but from someone who has studied Japanese history and culture, it's a show that you have to just watch and accept the story. It's a great story, and I definitely recommend watching it. Especially folks in this community. I definitely recommend Blue-Eyed Samurai. You'll like it, trust me.
Yeah, no, it's been on my list since it came out. Yep. But the first episode was one of those if I remember correctly, that's one where the first episode is 90 minutes.
So worth it. So worth it. It's so good.
At the time, it was one of those, I don't have that much time in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
hear you.
If I can't watch a single episode in one sitting, then that gets pushed back to when I have time.
Yes. So let's see. Other news here on the front page. Press applications are open. Drag show applications are open. Yuko Kanno officially announced as guest of honor. And yeah, my last thing, just to do my job as a micro-influencer, I'm not going to lie to you and say I don't drop a ton of money at the dealer's room. I do. So go and spend money at the dealer's room. It's good for everybody. It's good for the convention. It's good for the vendors. It's good for the soul. It's going to be more expensive than ordering it online, but just get it when you're there. It's good for everybody. Spend money at the convention. Support the convention.
If you can support the smaller, businesses and local
there are a lot.
Even
there are
better.
A lot.
There's a lot.
One up. Go to the dealer's room. Go to the dealer's room, which is also good. Now, if you want to, like exactly that, talk about what's good for the more indie creator, then take all that money and still spend it at the con. Right? Don't go to the dealer's room if you don't want to buy any figurines from some vendors who are bigger vendors. They're part of the convention circuit. Take that money, go to the dealer's room, spend it in the dealer's room, support your local artists. That actually is probably on a higher tier. Definitely, yeah.
The Artist Alley folks, you can, and some of the artists, if you don't see in their portfolios like exactly what you're looking for,
yep.
A lot of them will take commissions, or at the very least, can't hurt to ask.
Or take their card and just message them. Talk to them about messaging them, and if they accept DMs publicly, you can just do that as well and request commissions.
Because a lot of the artists, this is the conventions are their livelihood.
Absolutely.
And they will be more than. And if you're looking for something very specific, they will usually be more than willing to work with you on getting you exactly what you want because you're spending your hard-earned money.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a great place to spend it. Like I said, if you want to just like, oh, the dealer's room, you know what I mean? I don't want to get a figurine or like the retail stuff. Artist Alley, spend your money there. Good for everybody. Good for the con. Good for the artists.
But it's. I mean, the dealer's room also is
also good. There's also some indie artists there too. Yeah. Crafters.
The mix of like the big name vendors who are at every convention. Mm-hmm. But there's
a couple of witchy shops too.
And a lot of smaller indie vendors.
Yep. So don't discount one over the other. Definitely explore both. Part of the charm. If you go into Anime Boston 2026 and beyond, the dealer's room and the Artist Alley, any other vendors you see, definitely peruse. Enjoy the whole thing. Enjoy the panels. Unfortunately, there's no panel listings up yet. Go to some guest panels. There will probably be a ton of those. Probably a ton of panels where the guests play games, or they'll play Dungeons and Dragons, or a one-shot of Pathfinder or something.
Do not be afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because odds are, you'll find someone who likes the same underrated, not many people have heard of show or video game that you do.
Yeah. And you can, if there's a guest that has a booth that does not require, you can just, if they're accepting walk-up, you can just go and walk up to a voice actor that has a booth in the dealer's room. A lot of them do that. Not all of them do. Some of them do, and you can just go up and chat. So,
Yep.
You can do that. If it's there for you to do that, that's what it's there for. There's also autograph lines and all that stuff, but sometimes they'll set up like little vendor booths where you can just go up and chat, and you can get an autograph sign there as well. It might be like a $15 fee or something, but
precisely. And
yeah, they're free to engage with.
Most of the guests are super chill.
Yeah.
Because most of them want to make their fans happy.
Yeah, for sure. Most of them want to be here. Most people that go to Anime Boston or any other anime cons usually want to be there for some reason. If you talk to directors and con chairs, they'll tell you, like, the guests that are at these cons are there because they're excited about these cons. It's very rare. It happens, but it's usually rare where a guest will be like, say to an agent or, to a booking agent or a manager, hey, book me for con. That does happen, but usually it runs back to the voice actor who says, oh yeah, that sounds cool. So there's at least 9 times out of 10, there's at least that excitement for them to be there in some capacity. Some are really excited to be there. And
occasionally you
like Greg Ayres.
Oh yeah. And occasionally, especially on like Sunday, late in the day on Sunday, you'll get a very toned down excitement.
That's when I talk to Greg Ayres, yeah.
Because just burnout. Because I've seen just when the exhaustion kicks in.
Yeah. Yep. So
But they were still awesome. Just you could definitely tell you could definitely tell it was the con was almost over.
yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Well, I'm looking forward to another Anime Boston 2026 this year. And I think we said everything we need to say. Go and support the con, go and support the vendors, go and support the artists, support the New England Anime Society. And you can also support the con directly. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And can also usually take donations.
Support the local content creators who you happen to meet along the way.
Yep.
Shameless plug.
That's okay.
Because
Yeah. That's a good point to bring it all back. And what are you most looking forward to this year at Anime Boston 2026, Ange?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to the concert, but beyond that,
of course, I think we all are.
Reconnecting with friends I haven't seen in a couple of years, because I was not at Anime Boston 2025, so
I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Looking
Saturday
forward to
dinner.
seeing all the friends I missed. So yeah.
All right.
That's kind of my big thing, because I don't always plan out all the things I'm gonna do. I usually just go, well, who's gonna be there, who's around, so I can play catch up.
And y'all know what I'm looking forward to. We touch grass. I'm a millennial, I shouldn't have. But We Touch Grass, come on, seriously. That's the place to be. I love it. Maybe I can convince you to go to the RAVE this year. But if you don't, obviously, if it's not your thing, don't push yourself. But it is a lot of fun. The RAVE, of course, Yoko Kanno. I'll be at the concert with you. We'll see if we can coordinate together.
I am also very likely to at least show up in the corner of that pajama party.
Yeah, the pajama party too.
Because that sounds like it has the potential to be so much fun.
Yep. Drag show and the burlesque show as well from me.
Ooh.
We don't usually go to the 21 plus lounge. Sometimes we stop in there for like a minute, but if we don't see anybody we know, we usually just dip out. So
yeah, I think a few years back I thought about going over there, and then just never made it because all of my friends found me, and my friends offered me alcohol, so
I know.
So I just kind of
Yeah, I know our friend Matt McKenna pops over there every once in a while. So if you're part of the AAC crew, I think that that whole group be over at the King at some point. So
yeah, no, that might be if I make my way over there, I do. If I don't, I don't.
By the way, King of the Con has already posted his memes for the year. So if you're out of the loop and you're not following friend of ours, Matt McKenna, King of the Con, go and check out his socials. He does memes every year for all the cons. It's a good time. It's all positivity all around. Spread the love, all of the above. But RAVE, We Touch Grass RAVE, the burlesque show, the drag show, Yoko Kanno, and AMV contest is probably what my partner is most looking forward to. And of course, reconnecting with all of our friends, peers, and colleagues.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add, Ange, before we give you your chance to plug all your stuff?
I think that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to just seeing what's there, seeing the people, and hopefully, fingers crossed, actually being able to record some content.
Okay, yeah, same. So we'll get our press apps in, and we'll hopefully see everybody there at Anime Boston 2026. As we are on our way out, Ange, take it away. What do you got going on over at Anime Zing Radio?
We are live every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk about anime, conventions, nerd pop culture, and whatever random shenanigans the chat, our live chat likes to throw at us. But that's what we got going on. To the best of my knowledge, no guests have been definitively scheduled for next week, so it'll probably be we discuss what anime we're watching, what anime this season we're watching, because all of us are watching different shows for the most part.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Ange, and keep watching different shows. Keep spreading out your the shows that you watch that you can talk about on the show. Watch all the anime. There's a ton of anime out there. There's a ton of video games. And we'll be back tomorrow, I believe, for Silent Hill F, which is also, speaking of Japanese history, Japanese culture. That's a great game. I love that they went back to their roots with going to Japan, with, as far as the team being a Japanese team, making a game set in the States. It's nice to see them coming back. They said it was sort of a homecoming for them. So it's a great game. It's very terrifying, but I'm loving it so far. So that's for us, and thanks again, Ange, for stopping by the show. I always appreciate seeing you and having you here. And we'll.
Likewise, I appreciate being here.
All right, thanks again. For everybody else, stay safe out there. Really, and I mean that for sure this time. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to be excellent to each other. Protect each other if you have the privilege and ability to do so. Stay safe and keep fighting the good fight. As tired as the old adage is, that's what we got to do. Keep pushing, keep fighting, making our voices heard. Spread all of the love and positivity while also fighting that good fight. So stay safe. In the meantime, y'all, stay warm and stay awesome. We'll talk to y'all very soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
See you on the next one.